Bitcoin continues to rally higher, and I find myself asking the question, is Bitcoin about to pump once again? Is Bitcoin about to pump once again? Or is this looking like nothing more than a fake out before a plunge deep down into the crypto abyss? What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Crypto Kirby here, your cryptocurrency expert, back with another edition of the daily live stream. What is going on, my friends? Today I'd like to discuss Bitcoin and the action we've seen here over the past 24 hours. Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. I've never seen so many moon boys hooting and hollering, dancing on the tabletops like a monkey in a cage, rattling the bars. Get wrecked, Kirby. Get wrecked, Kirby. We're going to the moon. This little pump a notch, ladies and gentlemen. Just a teeny tiny little pump a notch, a few percent to the upside, and I want to show you what actually happened here. Jam-packed episode today. I'd like to look at the technicals here. Look what looks probable, not only in the micro trend, but the macro trend as well. And as a full-time trader, I'd like to discuss with you my strategy, my game plan, and how I plan to crush this market right now in the immediate term. So without any further ado, you guys already know the deal. If you like these daily crypto videos and nightly live streams, smack that thumbs up button, click the subscribe, tick the little bell, and let's get this crypto. Moon the likes, ladies and gentlemen. Moon them up. All right, so we'll begin with our Bitcoin technical analysis. And of course, before we begin, this is not investment advice, this is not trading advice. These are only my own opinions, ideas, and observations on the market. Always do your own research and your own due diligence before investing or trading, as this market is extremely high risk, and I am not your financial advisor. I will never tell you what to do with your trades or investments. Being said, let's begin here on the 4-hour time frame. If you guys are subscribed, you would know that yesterday I was covering this tentative bearish head and shoulders pattern here on the 4-hour time frame. I see a left shoulder clearly defined here with our little wick a notch up into the red resistance box, our clear head here with a volume climax in the middle, just like we would want, and now the tentative formation of our final right shoulder before a break of the neckline to be a bearish confirmation. I have adjusted this just a bit since last night because of the fact that the market did go up just a little bit. Now, I'm sorry to burst your bubble, Moon Boys. I am sorry to have to show you this, but that the only reason that this pumped was because this was just a little itty-bitty short squeeze, right? You see this here? This is the Bitcoin shorts chart, right? The shorts got a little bit high, and they squeezed them. And now, after they've been squeezed, there's been hardly any activity. Thus, the reasoning behind why there has no longer been any more movement in the price of Bitcoin since that move, right? And where we find ourselves now is floating sideways below our resistance box once again. We can see, ladies and gentlemen, this box right here is a clear resistance point, right? Still, we are not matching that volume that we saw at our tentative head right here. And that, again, is another characteristic of a head and shoulders pattern, that the climax of the volume is found at the peak, which is the head, because that is when the speculation to the upside has reached its peak, right? The climax. So right now, I'm noticing that we're trading underneath this resistance. We are still following this downward sloping resistance line. And we are still in what appears to me to be a tentative right shoulder of a bearish head and shoulders pattern. Now, this pattern can just not play out, right? It's not like I'm sitting here telling you that this must happen. What I'm saying is I see the potential that this is going to be a perfect head and shoulders breakdown. If this just decides to go up and up and up from here, then the pattern is invalidated. That's why waiting for confirmations is so important. I'm awaiting a break of this upward sloping neckline, right? This whole area, this whole line that's defined by the bottoms here, right? That's where this trend line comes from. And once that's broken, I'm looking for that bearish confirmation. Also, we are in what I believe can be a pattern within a pattern here, being a descending triangle pattern. I've also seen this drawn in other ways right now, ladies and gentlemen. There is a lot of speculation from other traders that this is in fact the opposite of a descending triangle, and it's actually an ascending triangle. Let me draw this out for you here. It's something more along the lines of this that they're looking at, saying that this could be a bull flag, upward sloping support line, and a breakout to the upside. You know, I do see that as well. It's just the problem for me here is that we have this head and shoulders pattern, right? That's the problem for me with the volume climax, guys, right in the middle. We haven't reached that volume again, and we're still trading below this key resistance box here, right? The red. That's the problem for me. So I'm not really loving the other triangle. For me right now, I see that this can also be a descending triangle here with our 2 touch points right now, tentatively also forming the head and shoulders. That is what I'm looking at. Also here, the RSI right now, guys, is looking to kind of pull back, right? I mean, we've had our peak here as well that matches up with the volume, right? This was the head of the head and shoulders, right? And I showed you guys this as well. If you guys remember, I actually charted the head and shoulders pattern here on the RSI, which is something I would not do very often. But if you are subscribed here, you would remember that I was charting this as well here on the RSI, and we did actually get that confirmation, right? A break of the neckline. We broke below, and this was where we had a little bit of a dump. Right now, we are looking to try and push back higher. But for me right now, ladies and gentlemen, the rest of the indicators here still look bearish to me. And the question is are we going to pump again, right? That's what I wanted to look at here in this video. So what I'm seeing, guys, is that the shorts right now are still in this area that we generally don't tend to go lower than, right? We haven't really gone lower than this box since really, let's see the date. February of 2018 is like the last time that we've traded below this area. That's the truth. And for me, this box has just ripped to the upside so many times when we've been in this area, which have also just completely coincided with a dump off in the Bitcoin price, that it's very difficult for me to just believe that we're going to pump right now, okay? And sure, we can pump a little bit, but this is why I want to look at the macro view, right? We can't lose sight, guys, right, that 6,000-ish, this whole area, like 5,700 to 6,000, is likely going to be the most staunch, difficult resistance to break in Bitcoin's history. The sheer amount of time and touch points that we had throughout this region is absolutely heinous, ladies and gentlemen. It would be a miracle, in my opinion, for Bitcoin to rip through this level, you know, like a hot knife through butter. I just don't believe that that's likely to happen. Now, this will spark the question again from the Moon Boys. So, is the bottom in, though, Kirby? Is the bottom in? That doesn't really mean anything, right, to me at this moment. It doesn't matter if the bottom was in or not, right? The fact of the matter is that, are we going to have a retrace and then actually stick in a confirmed new support above the bottom area? Like, that's a great bottoming point for me, right? I would much rather be looking, in my opinion, right, my speculation here, to be buying the consolidation and a breakout above the old prior resistance levels of our lower highs here. For me, then this would be a better bottom than this down here in the uncertainty, right? After capitulating 50% like a degenerate, just buying and hodling, right? Calling the psychic hotline. Oh, Kirby, you know, just one day, Kirby, just one day, maybe I'll get my Satoshis up. What I see right now, ladies and gentlemen, is we are still trading below this resistance box. The shorts are still in an area that look like they could fire to the upside. Again, I'm going to go back to this just briefly. That whole action that we saw yesterday, right? Because I know the comments on my video, ladies and gentlemen, this video didn't age well, Kirby. Oh, Kirby, of course. You post a video and the exact opposite happens. Get wrecked. I'm just showing you guys the only thing that this was a short squeeze. A bot, an API algorithm, saw that with a small amount of capital, they could liquidate X amount of shorts. get their profit and move along. And as we see, there's literally been close to no speculation further since that happening. That's all it was. When you break it down, that's all it was. So for me, we are at the exact same point we were yesterday, right? It's as if nothing happened here. Okay. So what I'm seeing now, we'll go back to BLX. Actually, let's go to the total crypto market cap here. This as well. Okay, guys, I've been showing this. If you are subscribed here, I used to have this box of resistance, this box right here. I used to have it drawn down to this bottom wick over here, right? I just want you to see what I'm talking about. I had this box drawn to the bottom of this wick, but the fact of the matter is that now we have traded a little bit up here after that short squeeze. So when I look at this box, right, trading is all about making the proper adjustments, right? So actually this wick was the furthest one down, and we had 3 candles here, right, that actually were up there. So when I retrace this and put it at the bottom of those candles, we can get such a better picture here, and we can see that we are actually testing right up to those prior candles, right? I think that that's an appropriate adjustment to make here, that we only had one rogue wick, and that was the first candle, right? Don't lose sight of that. That was the first candle, so it got bought back up. Then we consolidated at these 3 candles here. I think it's an appropriate adjustment. I did have it pulled down here before we tested up. Now I'm going to move it there. And as we can see, the crypto market cap is still underneath its heavy resistance zone. Number 1, right? This is the number 1 resistance in here. Number 2 is up here, which would be relatively the 6,000 level for Bitcoin, 5,700 to 6,000. As it stands right now, just like Bitcoin, volume climax, and we're descending in volume, albeit the volume is still higher than what it was, previously on the run up. But it's not promising for me, ladies and gentlemen, to see that we topped out here at the top of a resistance box. We are now trading underneath the resistance box, and we've already had our volume climax and now a decline in volume. I just don't like that from a bullish perspective. You guys know it doesn't matter to me if the market goes up or the market goes down. I trade both long and short. It doesn't matter to me either if the bottom of the market is in, because like I was just showing you guys back here on the BLX, is that it doesn't matter if this area was the bottom, right? If we back test down and get a support here, personally, I'm going to find this area as a consolidation above the old resistance upon a back test down to some Fibonacci retracements as a much better bottom, right? For me personally, than this down here. This was a mess, ladies and gentlemen, like I was showing, right? Imagine just by blind luck, you bought the bottom here, right? We pump, get rejected twice, double top, right? That's a clear bearish thing, a double top, and then we retrace back down to your buy zone. Are you feeling good at that moment? No, the thing is, you probably would have capitulated again out of pure panic. So don't fool yourself that this was like some easy bottoming period. Oh, Kirby, anything, the 200-week moving average, Kirby, oh. Don't kid yourself, ladies and gentlemen. These moon boys, I can't even believe what they say to me on a daily basis, ladies and gentlemen. You speak to your mother with that mouth, James. You speak to your mother with that mouth, Joe. Living that life. I'm blind hope. About to wash these moon boys' mouths out with a bar of soap, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get this crypto. Sheesh. But if you are just tuning in now, don't forget to moon up the likes. Moon them up. Smash those thumbs. Click the subscribe button. Tick the little bell. Let's get this crypto. Satoshi needs a new pair of shoes. So now let's touch upon here we'll go back to the intraday time frame here. What needs to happen for a pump, right? We already have outlined here what needs to happen for a dump. I need to see that this resistance holds, right? And just so you guys are aware, yes, if we do wind up floating through here, right, you're going to see that my lines will get adjusted. This is not a game of leaving your lines exactly where they are, right? If we float to the side and we're still not breaking resistance, my lines will adjust, right? Everything here will adjust with it, right? This is how technical analysis works. You can't just leave it, right? If I just left it, it'd just be, it doesn't make any sense. So I will continue to adjust this until there is a break that negates the pattern, right? And a break for me would be that we rise above where the left shoulder is, and that left shoulder is at about 53.50. If we just rise above 53.50 and look to create a new high above the head there, which was our peak, the pattern is negated, right? I have not taken a position here on this pattern yet because it has not flush broken the trend line, right? And on the contrary as well, in addition, we have not broken the the descending triangle pattern here as well. I'm looking for that double confirmation here of my bearish patterns. And for me, that is a break of the neckline there and a break of the bottom line of support here on the tentative descending triangle. I've messed up my lines here, but you guys get the picture. They will be adjusted if need be. So that's the bearish scenario, right? So now what do we need to do to pump? In my opinion, guys, we need to break it back into this red box, which is, I mean, we're right at it right now. We're at about 52.50 at the time of recording. We're at 52.24. This whole area that starts this resistance box is at about 52.50 to 52.60. For me right now, we need to flush break into this box with massive volume and take out not only the head and shoulders pattern. We'll actually hide this for a minute. We not only need to negate that pattern entirely by getting above the left shoulder and then ultimately above the head at about 54.50, we need to test the top of the box. It must be tested with volume. This is the type of volume we need once again. Once again, do we need the celery stick volume, ladies and gentlemen? That must come back in my opinion, and it must bring us to the top of this box, because then what we need to happen is we retrace there, and when we fall off in volume, just like what we did now, right? An identical scenario to this, huge volume, and then a fall off in volume. I want to see that happen again, right over here. I want a boom, and then a retracement, and I want this boom to bring us to the top of the box, the fall off in volume, to have us consolidate inside the box, preferably right at where the head of the pattern is, float along in here and look to break up into the $57,000 to $6,000 level. Guys, I'm seeing potential for absolutely huge plays here. I have not been so excited for this region that we're getting into right now in quite some time. This whole area for me, ladies and gentlemen, I see it once again. This reminds me of this level here. It reminds me of this area where I just, from months on end, was ready for one of the largest trades of my trading career. Ready to just be there if this pattern broke to the downside, because I knew the potential was a massive drop. And that's exactly what we got, ladies and gentlemen. I was prepared. I was strategizing and plotting months for this break, and it finally happened, right? And I was in a position when it happened, not only in Bitcoin, but in Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, and others. If we get into this range, ladies and gentlemen, right up here in that red box, I believe the opportunity again is going to get absolutely insane, because the battle between the bulls and the bears that we're going to get up in this region should be heinous, insane, and absolutely extreme. I personally am under the impression that we will not break through this area. I really, truly am under the impression that it's going to be a pipe dream to get through here on the first attempt. In my own personal speculation, I believe we should fail at this level at least the first time. I would be much more confident if it gets rejected hard, retests, and we look to break it on the next try. But for me, ladies and gentlemen, I'm looking for absolutely aggressive plays here. I will be keeping you all updated in VIP with my trades as I make them in absolute real time to the exact second. I post every trade, every strategy, every insight that I have. I post for you in real time, ladies and gentlemen. Don't be taking that trip to Rec City with Average Joe and James at the water cooler. It's time to crush this market, and it's time to get this crypto. It's time to transform yourself from Average Joe into Savage Joe. Let's get this crypto. I will see you in VIP right now. All right. Before we wrap this up here, guys, the fear and greed index, this kind of coincides with me, ladies and gentlemen, back to the shorts. I want to go back to this shorts chart real quick. We're seeing, right, if we zoom out here, that we're at this critical level of where we've just found the shorts to just rip and the market to dump. We're back in this area, right? And on the crypto fear and greed index, we are back in greedy territory today at a 61. And as we look here, every time that we get extremely greedy, we dump off into the abyss, right? We've seen it time and time again. Time and time again has this market just fallen off a cliff when we get greedy. And we've been greedy for quite some time here and haven't yet fallen off the cliff. To me, I just feel like I'm waiting for this dump to happen. And I do want to be positioned appropriately if and when it does in fact occur. I don't want to squander this opportunity, ladies and gentlemen. If I see it, I'm going to strike like a cobra out of the grass and get this crypto. I'm ready to crush this market. Are you? That's what I'm showing here today, ladies and gentlemen, is that I feel like we're in a waiting period right now. Fireworks. I believe we're about to hit this market. If we look here at the Google Trends data, we can see we've clearly been on a downturn since that $1,000 candle that boosted and boomed the whole market. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, we have plunged quite a bit. We're at a 42 now from 100. That is a 38% decline in search volume. Excuse me, 58%. Sheesh. A 58% decline in search volume. And the trend is downwards right now over the past 30 days. For me, guys, again, it's lining up for a huge move. I know the Moon Boys get all excited. They tell me the video didn't age well. They tell me to get wrecked. The question that I have to ask, right? Unfortunately, I know many of you guys are not Moon Boys. You're realists and are ready to crush the market by looking at what really matters and not rubbing the crystal ball and relying on blind hope. But the question that I have to ask for the Moon Boys, so when I do my analysis, right, and show you everything that I have to show you, so what do you see, right? Do you see that I'm just looking at things that aren't making any sense? No, ladies and gentlemen, you see that what I'm showing you is all valid. The thing is that sometimes the market loves to do crazy things. I'm not predicting what I believe is going to happen here. I'm looking at the information that I have, and all I can control is my technical analysis, right? I can only control how I structure my charts, right? I can't control what the market does, right? So the thing is that you just have to ask yourself, is what you're seeing valid? And if so, then why are you getting upset when the market goes the wrong way? And the thing is that these Moon Boys, I guarantee you 99.99%, if not 100%, yeah, we'll go with 100%, don't even know that a short squeeze occurred, and that's what happened on the 3% pump. They probably don't even know what a short squeeze was. Let's get this crypto. End rant. RIP Moon Boys. I'm sipping on that 24-ounce tall, cold glass of Moon Boy tears, doing backstrokes in an Olympic-sized pool full of Moon Boy tears, James. Speak to your mother with that mouth. Sheesh. Sheesh. Ladies and gentlemen, I will be in VIP right now. I'm going to get absolutely aggressive with my trades here. I hope you see what I see. That's all I can say, is that we are in between many patterns right now, not only on the 4-hour, but on the daily, the weekly, the total crypto market cap. Guys, I see that if those that are not positioned correctly are likely going to get wrecked, those that are positioned correctly are likely going to prosper on potentially life-changing opportunity. I'm ready to try and position myself as best as I can if and when this does occur, as I want to be on the train to profit land, not the train to wrecked city. Being said, I will be posting all my plans, strategies, entries, exits, etc. exclusively for you in VIP right now. Shout out to my VIPs. I will see you all in VIP right now. If you could, one last time, guys, moon up the likes, moon them up, smash those thumbs, click the subscribe button, tick the little bell. Let's get this crypto. Satoshi needs a new pair of shoes. Ladies and gentlemen, I will see you all in VIP right now. Shout out to my VIPs. I will see you in VIP right now. And until next time, my friends, be safe, be happy, be healthy. It's your boy, Crypto Kirby. Peace and love, my friends. Curbs.